I've had my chest port for almost 10 years and y'all have had questions, so here's everything you need to know about having a port. I'm very grateful for Little Miss Ivy because I cannot stand a peripheral IV. I originally got my port placed because I was doing IVs 5 days a week treating Lyme disease and my veins couldn't take it anymore. But now I just use it for IVIG. The procedure for getting a port placed is outpatient and relatively easy, but recovery can be a bit painful depending on the person. I hate needles, so I always numb my port before accessing, and once accessed, there's no pain at all unless I got it on the edge of the port and it's tugging a little bit. Of course, there are always risks with having an implanted medical device, so the biggest things to monitor for are infections or clotting. I've had one infection, and that was because I let a nurse I didn't know access it, so I don't let anybody new touch my port. Luckily, I was able to do IV antibiotics to clear it without needing a replacement, but treatment for infections depends on the doctor and how bad the infection is. I also clot really easily, so I always use heparin to lock my port before deaccessing, but the use of heparin is dependent on your situation because some people with mast cell activation syndrome don't tolerate it. The other major complication is a fibrin sheath developing on the port, which is basically extreme clotting. I've dealt with mild versions of this at the end of my port, and I can usually break it up and clear it with heparin, but sometimes you need a TPA infusion. Ports can be accessed for a week at a time, and then they need to be deaccessed to clean the area and put in a new sterile needle. Luckily, I only have mine accessed for 3 days every 3 weeks. The only thing I avoid with having a port is doing heavy chest exercises in the gym, as building chest muscle can shift the port, making it harder to access or flip the port. When it's accessed, you want to avoid direct pressure on the area, tugging on the line, sweating too much, or getting it wet like with swimming or showering. I use the AquaGuards to shower, but honestly, the hardest thing to do with the port is shower. That is the biggest con to me, and is a real art unless you have someone who can wash your hair for you. If you have any other port questions, drop them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer.